Hello, Taurus. My name is Echo, and thank you so much for joining me for your April 2025 tarot reading. Just want to let you know as we get started, we have an Mercury retrograde going on until the middle of April. So be sure you're saving any of your work if you're working on your computer or your phone. Be wary of any intrusive thoughts and the possibility for miscommunication. Technology does have a habit of going awry, as does our interactions with other people. I would also like to point out that we have a solar eclipse happening on March 29th. So if you haven't seen my video on that yet, go ahead and take a look. Neptune will be in Aries at the 9th degree. So see where that is in your life, because Neptune's a very powerful, dreamy energy that challenges us to go against the status quo. So see where Aries is in your chart and what area of your life that's likely to affect. But let's go ahead and continue with your reading and see what we have, Taurus, for this month. All right, starting us off, we have the card of Heavenly Signs. So if you're seeing any feathers, keys, coins in weird places, things like that, hearing a song that was familiar to you from maybe someone you knew, it could be an ancestor reaching out to you, or something that plays off of what you were already thinking, like in a song, that does happen. Pay attention to that, because this is your guides. This is your ancestors. They are heavenly signs meant to draw your attention away from the everyday, to stretch your mind and possibly lead you down another road or extend your path into a direction or different avenue that you may not have otherwise pursued. April is all about spring, renewal, regrowth. So this is a great time to practice new things and go after new endeavors if we are so called. Next, you have power. So as heaven is tapping you, it may be because there are certain powers at your disposal that you're not implementing, or you're considering the powers that be and have charge of your life right now. This could be anything from a boss, the environment you're surrounded with, what you can do with the money you have financially, where you're being held back, or just something that you need to create and you know it, and you're maybe dealing with a little bit of self-doubt. You're wondering, can I do this? Do I have the resources? But in any case, it's time to address the power that's in your corner and just what you're capable of and how you can take care of situations to create a better overall life for you and make your journey just a little bit easier. So I'd like to continue with this reading and see what else we have. We're off to a great start. You have resistance. All right, so this tells me someone's going through a difficult time, okay? It may be conflict with yourself or another party, but if there is something and you're trying to resist a change that's going to happen, remember that resistance is sometimes futile if the power we're going against and the current that we're fighting against is just a little too hard. And it is okay to drop resistance and go with the flow, or step out of that river, step out of that flow if that will make our life better so we can find a path that works for us. If there is a little bit of resistance in the workplace between you and somebody who's calling the shots, maybe it's time to have a sit down and have a little bit of a difficult conversation and let them know why you feel the way you feel. And if the two of you decide through conversation, not an argument, that it might be better for the two of you to separate, then do that. But if you can come to some sort of agreement that will make things copacetic for both of you, that's even bigger win, right? But you have to claim your own power over your life one way or another, which may mean having that sit down or just stepping away because you've tried, and sometimes you've overextended yourself already and there's no need to push yourself further. The heavenly signs will be reaching out to you to let you know what shot it is you need to shoot in the month of April and exactly what steps you can take to make things better for both you, yourself, and the overall. So let's throw some cards here for you, Taurus, and see what we have. You have the Page of Cups in reverse, the Lovers in reverse, and the Ace of Wands in reverse. So some people don't read reversals because they feel this could introduce negative energy into the reading. And I had a conversation with someone just recently about this. But honestly, a reversal doesn't mean you're introducing negative energy. I channel as I read, and I invite good energy in when I clear the space before I begin. I do this off camera so you don't have to listen to me for 10, 15 minutes. But it's really, if you do the cards in reverse, it's not about negativity. It's adding more dimension, more dynamic, and more definition to the reading so you can really hone in and see how this applies to you. So the Page of Cups in reverse says that maybe you have been giving too much of your emotion to a situation. Maybe you have been taking stock of it and it's impacting you in a negative way. Your heart space is suffering at this point, whereas it could be like a loss of a friendship, a loss of a comfort zone. For some reason or another, you feel like it's hurt you. And you also need to take in stock. Are you the person who's dumping out this cup? Not overgiving in a love way, although that could apply to you. Are you perhaps causing harm by staying where you don't need to be anymore because you're scared to take that next step, or you're just unsure of how to do it? But whatever this cup is that's being spilt, put some stock in it, take some time, sit with yourself, and take whatever step is right for you, Taurus, because it's your life just as much as anyone else's, and you're writing your own story. Also, Page of Cups is all about surprises, but in reverse, it says to me that you really aren't surprised by the outcome of something so far. And I wouldn't expect any more surprises to come your way. Like whatever is happening in this space or with this situation is just going to continue. Okay. So what you think is going to happen is most likely the scenario or something very similar. The Lovers is the choice card. This can point towards an actual relationship, such as lovers, or a choice that is to be made. Because when you are choosing someone you love, you're offering them that cup, but you must first offer it to yourself. But when you choose them, you're choosing to include them in your life, to make them part of the grand web and walk alongside you in your journey. But in reverse, this says you may be at a bit of a standstill. You're feeling like you're not getting that love back. We talked about some of this with the Page of Cups, but you have no choice in the matter as far as something goes. So you may be like, people are watching your movements, people are watching your steps, just to see what you're going to do. They may be doing so in a judgmental way, or they may be out to get you. Or maybe they're just trying to hold you to a standard and it's just not comfortable for you anymore. So it's time for you to choose something else. You have no choice but to do that because you're staying where you're at, but you are considering your options at this time. And this is a great time to reconsider things because we're talking about spring, renewal, rebirth. This is a perfect time to start on a new point in your journey if you feel so. The Ace of Wands in reverse speaks about a lack of creative power. So like we said, somebody is already, there's a situation here, okay? And it matters to you because it is in your heart space. Cups are a watery energy. They're about emotion, so there is emotion tied to this. But fiery wands are all about our passion and that which we can create. But you're not really able to create a solution at this time to whatever this problem is, which may be why you're entertaining the idea of stepping away. And so you're wondering, what else could you create in a different area? What could you create new? Since here, you really don't have the impact that you thought you did, or in some way or another, your hands are tied and the situation just can't be impacted by you at any further point. So maybe you do need to consider what it is you can create. What is your true passion and what can you put out there to make life more fluid for you? So I'd like to see what we don't have coming. Taurus, let me rephrase this. What does Taurus maybe not see coming in the month of April? I'm just going to slow down here one moment. Okay, because there's a lot of energy here, Taurus. There's a lot. So something is impacting you very heavily. And I'm so sorry if you're going through something that's hurts or is too heavy, Taurus, because nobody needs to have that added weight, okay? So what does Taurus maybe not see coming in the month of April? What do we have for my Taurus? You have the Four of Pentacles in reverse. The Four of Pentacles is all about... some people can say that this is the card of greed or worrying too much about yourself in reverse. The Four of Pentacles is about protecting that which you have. You have a happy balance and you're looking after your own and what you have and trying to maintain, okay? Pentacles are all about that which can see, we can touch every day, finances, the roof over our head, where we work, you know, a job, things like that, things you can, tangible. But in reverse, this says that you may be overprotecting something at this point that it is either lost value to you or like hanging on too tightly is going to cause it to slip through your fingers, okay? So something's going to happen in your specific financial spectrum, maybe even at your place of work, that's going to feel like you don't really have the grip on a situation that you thought you did, because you're holding on and it's kind of leaking through your fingers, or you've tightened your grip so much that it's just not comfortable anymore. And this is why you're addressing choices and what matters to you. So there is something in your situation that's going to pop up in April that makes this grip just a little bit tighter. You do also need to consider if maybe you have lost your grip on a situation and it's time to readdress the balance because it just doesn't work anymore. You need to either redefine the space or situation that you're dealing with to make it work, or just perhaps it's time to ditch it entirely and find something that does resonate. So what blessings does Taurus have in the month of April? Because there's a lot of heavy energy here. And I was looking at your March and February readings, the 2 months prior, even into January. It feels like you've been on a bit of a roller coaster, Taurus. You've been through some stuff. You're navigating the energy in a way that's more solid because Taurus is the strong bull. But sometimes you need to be gentle with yourself as well. And if that means just letting go of something to take charge in another direction, that's okay too. So what blessings does my Taurus have in the month of April? You have the Death card in reverse. Now, don't worry. The Death card is not talking about actual death. Someone's not necessarily going to die. The Death card is really more about we are letting something go so we can create something new. And that's all over this reading. That's definitely here. But we are letting something go and letting it be dead, done, over with, so we can have a spring, we can have renewal. In some decks, you will see one of my other decks that I use, the death itself is the figure sitting on a pale horse, and a young man is handing him a set of white flowers. Well, white flowers in tarot are actually a symbol of innocence and renewal, rejuvenation. But we are in a period of rejuvenation right now with spring rejuvenation, as I have talked about. So maybe it is time to let something go, and you're going to see where that is. That is your blessing in the month of April, Taurus. You're going to see it and you're going to feel it. Now, you may realize it even if it's not in the month of April, well into the month to follow. It may be in May, and that's totally fine. It's still spring. It's still renewal. There's the expression, I'm hearing April showers bring May flowers. Of course, that doesn't follow the weather patterns where I live, but I mean, weather's crazy right now anyway. So somebody is going to have to rejuvenate and rebirth something at this time, but don't worry, that's actually a blessing, because if the scenario that you're in, as I'm seeing, is difficult on you, this is a blessing in disguise, okay? So it may not feel like it when it hits you. You may not realize it right away. I feel like there's a little delayed reaction, but when it arrives, you are going to have sort of a breath of fresh air, a sigh of relief. So what advice do you have from my Taurus in the month of April? I have the Two of Cups. You are going to find someone, something, some situation that does resonate with you, and you're inspired to go after that. Go after what does fill your cup, because we talked about you've got to have in the lovers, before you can offer a cup to someone else, you've got to offer a cup to yourself. And you're inspired at this time to give yourself that cup so you can share in a space and a social working that does resonate with you, because wherever it is you're right now, whatever situation you're dealing with, it doesn't click, okay? You're just kind of dealing with it, all right? And that's not bringing you the joy that you want. So you're advised at this time to go after that joy. I love this reading. So let's go ahead and draw a rune for you, Taurus. I do draw these at random, no peeking, because the Elder Futhark has a lot to add, and I don't want to rob you of that. Let's take this one. So the Elder Futhark does come with an original set historically, and it does not include a blank rune. The blank rune is, I'm going to call it New Age because it's newer to the Elder Futhark, but you did get the blank rune. And the blank rune indicates that the future is not yet written. Nothing is set in stone, and whatever it is you want it to be is what you can create. It's what it's going to be. So what you put out there is what you're going to get back. And you need to be sure that you're putting out good, you're thinking about good, you're focusing on the good. And in order to do that with all the fire and all the creative passion that you have, all the will and the strength, you've got to let go this power. You've got to let go of whatever power is holding you back so you can take the reins and harness your own energy, your own power, and you can create something magnificent. This is a beautiful reading, and I'm wishing you a very happy April and a wonderful spring, Taurus. My name is Echo. Thank you so much for joining me.